accomplished right there, being in business for 50 years.
I enjoy coming to work every day.
You have to enjoy it. If you don't, you're in the wrong business, period.
Wow.
Everybody, let's get into it. Get stoked, get started.
Hey Chaney, happy 50th anniversary. Let's get it started.
Get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah.
But as far as doing anything else, I don't think so. You either love this business or you hate it, and I love it.
Life is great. Thank you, Chaney.
Well, it's been 50 years. And looking back, I was wondering or thinking about what has really changed and what has really not changed. But the one thing I think has been the most consistent is the quality of the employee we've had.
Have a good day.
From the person who sweeps the floor to the president. I'd rather have our team than any team.
Everybody is working in pursuit of the same goals with the same core values and believes in the culture that they're an integral component of.
The people are so wonderful here. They really care about their jobs. They care about the customers. They care about each other.
Really what makes us different is, we all work together so much and so long. We're not just team, we're friends, and you don't let your friends fail.
They really care and look out for their employees and take them in as part of their own.
I've been there for 49 years. It's been a great relationship, and I'm proud to be an employee of Chaney Enterprise.
I feel like I'm part of the Chaney family. Some people call me Sam Chaney.
And I always figured, if you like what you're doing, enjoy the people you're working for and with, why leave? I'm still there.
When you talk to these people who have been here for a long 30 plus, 40 plus years with some of them, you learn a lot. You learn, they talk a lot about how it used to be, which is good because you can see how things have progressed.
I started with the founder and owner, Mr. Eugene Babe Chaney, in an old shacky office in Upper Marlboro in the 40s. That was where everything started, with him and with me. He had only one little old Inslee shovel and maybe 2 or 3 trucks and drivers. And if necessary, he'd drive one.
Anything your heart desires will come to you.
And Charlie Garrett was one of the first employees at Upper Marlboro. It's good to see.
Charlie Garrett, he was one of the few people who knew my father, knew my brother, and knew me well, and he's seen the changes in front of him.
When I first worked with him, I met Ms. Dodson. She was in the office, and they hired me right there.
And this is what my mom used to call a pistol.
I don't know why they were scared of me or whatever. I just said what the hell I wanted to say, I guess.
You would rather have Mr. Chaney or even one of the boys mad at you than Miss D, because she was tough. She knew what Mr. Chaney wanted done, and she saw that it got done, believe me.
I had that attitude that you better not cross me on what Mr. Chaney was doing, and you just better get yourself straight about, that it was just that way.
And everybody in the company that time listened to her. She said something that was almost the same as if Babe Chaney said.
She was Mr. Chaney's right-hand man and right-hand lady, and whenever she would call one of these guys to her office, they'd get right off the bat, you see a strong man almost cringing.
And poor Dickie, I had him, especially on Monday, when the Redskins had lost on Sunday. He said he wouldn't come around, there wasn't enough money in the world that he would ever come to my office on that day. But he used a little bit of that. I started with Mr. Chaney.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
My father, when you walked in a room, you knew he was special and that he did something then, and people you could see the respect.
Babe Chaney was a visionary, I guess you would call it. He always knew before anybody else what was going to be successful for somehow or another. He always, whatever, he had that Midas touch.
He was always on the cutting edge. When I first came with the company, we had about 15 trucks. The word was we had paid for 5. He ordered 10 more trucks. He said, that's a chance. And if it's not a chance of losing everything, it's not worth working for.
Dickie Chaney was almost exactly like his father.
My mother, Mary Mack, was, well, she was beautiful. And she was just always in a good mood and always a doer.
Dick was more than, to me, he was more than, I would say, a boss. He was like a friend to all the guys that was here.
He was a worker. You know, you could tell from the time he started out, he didn't really want to be in the office. He wanted to be out where everything was going on, kind of keep his thumb on the pulse of the company.
But you wouldn't think he was the boss. He was one of the guys. I would get down 6:30 in the morning. He was already there. And he would answer the phone. He would write trip tickets. He would do it all. He could drive a mixer, like they said, bulldozer, you name it.
You know, one thing that no one's mentioned, in the company, we had a lot of equipment. We had whatever it took to get the job done, but we also had a lot of play toys. We had all the things that you could want. We had a boat, we had a plane, we had racehorses.
And we would bowl Saturday afternoon. In fact, we thought we were getting pretty good at bowling. So we got a bowling team together. Have a few sips and partied together, you know. We worked hard, but we played hard too.
We would have gatherings, we would have birthday celebrations there in the office. And in those days, you could have, you know, wine and beer and things like that, and you didn't seem to think that it was a big deal. We would go to lunch, oh my, and then sometimes you'd try to come back and function after, after lunch. And it wouldn't be so easy.
You know, you think of Mad Men, everybody's drinking, everybody's smoking, so that's how it was in the office. Everybody's drinking, and VO, I don't know if anybody's told you, but VO was the booze of choice, and that's what you gave everybody for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and so there were crates of VO. A couple crazy times I got playing Spin the Bottle. There's all these managers and secretaries, and I'm like, well, I can't play, I'm related to everybody.
The camaraderie was so good, so tight, and we let a few people in. They had to earn it.
Definitely has changed a lot, and I'm very proud of the fact that it has.
So I worked with Frank to sort of modernize a lot of stuff.
The company wasn't really computerized when Frank got out of college. Parts inventory, the maintenance on the trucks, everything became computerized, and he was very active in that area.
None of this electronic stuff was around. This was all by hand and whatever.
Everything was on with muscle.
When I came out of school, the way people got paid and the way people got in trouble too, and the whole HR thing was so inconsistent. Everybody had their own little deal and how things went. And we got that, you know, much more organized as the 80s went on.
I got a call one day from Frank Chaney, and he said, would you like to come down and work with us? And I said, no. I said, I'm going to start my own business. And he said, would you come down and talk to me? I said, of course. My responsibility is to leave this company in better shape than what I found it in. I can look you in the eye and tell you that it will be in better shape.
Sand and gravel and concrete are a lot higher tech than people think.
10-4, wind it up.
Concrete's not concrete and it's not cement. It is concrete, and there's 1,500 different mix designs.
There's many concretes out there, but we're proud that we have the best.
What we do with these is we put them into the machine, and just to measure the PSI, the strength of them, and to let the customer know and let ourselves know whether the cylinder is of strength and the concrete in the ground is of the right strength.
But basically, when we move into a pit, you got trees and stuff, and we clear the trees out, and then we strip the topsoil off of it, and we get down to the dirt, the fill dirt, and we strip the dirt off of it, and then we start mining the bank run. We load it up on trucks. They run it to the plant and separates it, make pea gravel, 3/4, 2-inch sand, masonry sand, and then that's where we make our money at. This is bank run, and this is what they call gold. That's what we work for. And then after we mine this all out, then we take that dirt and we fill it in the hole, and then we take the topsoil and we put the topsoil back on top of it, and then we seed it and all for reclaiming, and we put it back as natural as possible.
MIT is getting ready to come out with there are 3 years of a 5-year study going on with them, but basically showing how concrete, all the things it can do. More importantly, it's going to make people realize that, I mean, this is a great industry, and it's an industry that is very important to this country.
The future for our industry has never been brighter. Science is showing that concrete is the construction material of choice. It's also showing that it's the paving material of choice, and it has all sorts of environmental advantages in the area of sustainability and renewable resources.
We've kind of taken the ready-mix concrete, sand and gravel business to a threshold in technology. I think the next change is ultimately actually going to be back to a more simpler thing, which is going to be the people and the individuals who are on the front line of the company. I think the game is going to be stepped up to the level of professionalism and expectations of people who are doing the daily tasks. People who are literally in the trenches fighting for the company each and every day. That transition for Chaney will once again hopefully lead the industry.
The one thing that's been consistent with the company that just has not changed is their willingness to help the community, whether it's through philanthropy or supporting a local school. I don't know that the Chaney family ever says no. The joke is, we have to make it faster than they give it away.
I was so fortunate to be the front person for the foundation, and I got to be the one to go out to the charities and give people money. And who wouldn't love all the smiles and the thank yous that they got?
We were looking at expanding the Boys and Girls Clubs and doing more things for many more kids. And that was 23 years ago. And we sat down and had an opportunity to talk with Frank. And as you know, Frank is an ideas guy. And Frank had already figured out what he wanted to do prior to meeting with Ed and I. And the first thing he wanted to do was have a bull roast. And of course, growing up in the city of Washington, D.C., I didn't know what a bull roast was. Here we are today with his help. We have 7 branches, a beautiful facility. And if it wasn't for the Chaney Foundation and Frank and Susan and the whole family, we wouldn't have a 36,000 square foot facility that's serving kids from all over the county.
How's it going up here? Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep them pretty close. It's always good to see you. Good seeing you.
We have an ambassador program where we basically, our guys retire, they never retire. If they want to do more work a day a week or 2 days a week.
In the years where they typically would retire and move to Florida or whatever it is that you do, they choose to stay. And I think they choose to stay because they love and enjoy what they did, and it's become their family. So if they retire, they're leaving their family.
Majority of the customers, they like the old timers. They feel more comfortable with them. You can tell. I said, well, we don't have to worry about nothing now because we got the right guy for the job.
I love being here. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here this long. So, we'll see how long it takes.
They know everything there is to know about the business. They know everyone in the business.
We're still working 2 days a week, and we keep those relationships going, help the young salesmen continue that relationship with the customers.
Truck's clean? Yes, sir. Ready to
to go.
All that knowledge, and we're lucky enough that they'll stay.
We take care of our own. We take care of our own. Wherever this flag's flown, we take care of our own.
The thing about it around here, there's absolutely no doubt that if you want it and you'll work for it, you can achieve it.
I had decided to take a course at the college on computers, and one of the vice presidents, he was floored. He asked me what my expenses had been and whatever he reimbursed me for books, the classes and everything, and that was just the atmosphere.
Most companies and all publicly held companies are managing quarter to quarter. We manage generation to generation.
My husband knew Dickie, went to school with him, worked with your grandfather. His father worked, my husband's father worked for you.
We've committed to the company for another 100 years. We talk about this all the time. It's based on the reserves we have in the sand and gravel business, and we have no intention of going anywhere.
We got the right people, we got the right culture, we got the right equipment, a lot of right. And as far as I'm concerned, better than anybody in the business, but we still can do it a lot better.
We're going to be able to take this company to another level, starting with customer service.
I'm fresh out of college. I'm ready to just make it even better, become more innovative.
I'm actually excited that there's a Chaney back in the picture, more in the day-to-day.
I think I do have visions for where I'd like to see Chaney in another 10 or 15 or 20 years, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is I see Chaney still in the same business we've been in since 50 years ago.
To Frank and the officers and owners of the company, I thank you.
I just want to say a big thank you. And when I get a chance, a big hug for all of you.
Thank you for everything that you've done for me in my last 50 years or so.
Thank you for 50 great years. And if I was able, I would come back and help you all a little more.
On behalf of Lamont and his family, I'd like to thank the Chaney family, especially Hall, for giving me the opportunity to move up.
I appreciate everything you've done to help me and my family, and thank you very much.
I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Happy 5th anniversary to the Chaney family.
I'm not planning on retiring. Donna told me I'm going to hang in there for 70 till I was 74, so I'm going to try to do that.
Happy anniversary, 50 years old into the company.
Happy 50th anniversary, and we hope we keep it going strong.
Thank you to everyone for the last 50 years, and hopefully the next 50 years will be just as good.
Happy 50th anniversary, Chaney, and I hope to be here for many more.
I'm proud of who I work for.
I would like to take this time to thank the Chaney family for allowing me to work here for 27 years.
Happy anniversary, Chaney. I'm thrilled to be part of it.
It's a special thanks to everybody. I hope that you feel like you're part of the family.
We hope we can do a lot more for you and make the next 50 years even better. And again, thank you for being a part of this great team that we have.
Carry on, ladies and gentlemen.
We take care of our
Frank is a dancer. If you've ever seen him dance, I've never seen him, a person do the hokey pokey and the jumping jack at the same time. The greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
We're supposed to say time out.
Happy anniversary, Chaney Enterprises. Happy anniversary, Chaney Enterprises.
Happy.
Oh yeah, 50th.
She forgot.
I forgot. Okay.
Was a guy, he came down there on a three-piece suit, all spit and polished. And he had a good resume. I said, Jack, if you put him down in St. Mary's County, he's not going to sell nothing just like that. He's lucky to get out there alive.
Oh golly, to try to think about any stories that are, that that would be okay to talk about.
Put that mood on it.
Oh.
You didn't watch it?
No.
You gotta watch them things.
My kind of party.